Welcome to Yourview. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. It's a beautiful Wednesday, yeah. So I have my lovely co-host here. Hi, ladies. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Mariah.
What's good? How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
I love the blue combination. It looks amazing on TV.
I love it too. Thank you very kindly. I had lunch with YK and Tokwe yesterday, and then I had lunch with Mrs. Osoyintolu.
And then you had
lunch. Mrs. Osoyintolu, who threatened me because I voted Professor Remi Shonaya, has now decided to open all her doors to me. Jumoke, kila mashi from 2019. But I'm doing very well. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Osoyintolu.
That's good. So what did you guys have at with YK? Love rice.
I had rice and beans with fish. Tokwe had only fish and inoero.
Right.
I'm trying. Okay, so I finally remember the name of my
I thought the fish was
adopted.
dried with fried with a lot of oil. So you're not yet exempted.
I'm not.
Go ahead.
But I'm trying. Baba Kome. So thank you. I skipped his name
that's
yesterday.
his name.
So his name is Baba Kome. Baba Kome, thank you so much for taking care of my
Baba
parents.
Kome.
God bless
What
you.
kind of name is that? Where's it from?
His daughter's name is Kome. I think Kome is Niger Delta. I know
so
he's
it's
from
Baba.
Baba
Kome.
Kome.
Not Baba Kome like
The way you said it like his own name.
I'm like, what the heck is that?
Baba Kome.
I wanted to talk about something because I see women sweeping the roads, as in it was an initiative of I think the former governor or maybe Governor Tinubu, previous one, and it was a good move at the time. But the risk to life, you see them literally on the road during the day, like at 7:30, you're sweeping the road in the middle of the road. I can't rationalize it for women to be doing that kind of job. I think we should readjust the plan. It might make more sense to probably do it in the middle of the night or something, but it is dangerous.
That's even worse.
And
if you replace them with machines, loss of employment.
No, we can't get something else for them to do. Human beings shouldn't be sweeping the road in the middle of the road, sweeping sand, not even picking.
There are machines who actually sweep the roads. So eventually we'll get to that stage.
Gradually, I agree.
Let us see when I appreciate that somebody is sweeping the road.
I was just trying to.
The time that you're not sweeping the road.
So
I remember that Lagos.
I remember that Lagos.
So trust me, let us not even complain it. How are you doing, Jare? Yellowfish. You're looking very, very rested. Really? You're glowing.
Right,
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. Yesterday I was at the International Women's Society. They were inaugurating, what's her name? Ego Boyo. She's now the 60th. We call her the Diamond President.
Right.
And the society, they've been in existence for 60 years. I really didn't know about them like that. I'm telling you so.
They're doing
Thank God she's coming on board, and hopefully she's looking out for fresh faces, young people with innovative ideas to really impact the society. So I met a lot of people. I said I should say hello to you and the ladies. So hopefully we'll get more women to come on our couch and we'll celebrate them as well.
Yes, so we have exciting news for lots of ladies out there.
I like your yellow shoes.
Thank you. We have exciting news for the ladies, not for ladies, for our viewers out there. I'll share the exciting news towards the end, so stay tuned, all right? Great news, you'll be happy to hear it. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Yourview will be right back.
Yes, welcome back. Let's start with Punch. Duties on old vehicles. Customs CG makes a U-turn to honor Senate summons. Ali meets Saraki ahead of appearance. NCS reviewing controversial policy. Picture here, alleged weakest bribe. Accused INEC officials reject trial in Abuja. Seized 3 billion naira. EFCC arraigns ex-NNPC boss Yakubu on Thursday. Grandmother sells a 3-year-old girl to pay rent. Police stop Ondo feuding lawmakers from sitting. EFCC uncovers 49 million naira cash abandoned by passenger in Kaduna Airport. Inflation rate records first drop in 15 months. PDP crisis propaganda won't help us, says Dixon. And Jonathan's godson held over 2 billion naira NDDC payment. Let's start with the human angle, the grandmother. Yes, Jumoke.
You know that we followed up the story of Mary John, which is actually not her name. Anyway, so she kidnapped 4 children. Now, this grandmother, Rita Eze, is in her gang. What they do is pretend to be apprentices in different shops. Mary John had pretended to be an apprentice in Shemilore's mother's bead making shop.
Okay.
Kidnapped the young girl and went to go and sell her to, and took her to Anambra to Eze Rita, who sold the girl. So it's a cartel. Come to Lagos, abduct girls, go to Anambra and sell them.
Yeah,
but now the Lagos, the police have rounded them up.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about the story because they said when they even arrested the woman, residents around that area in Badagry came to the police station, and they actually identified that she also, because there was one, I think Farouk and the sister also that were abducted.
Wow.
And they were identifying her that she was also, she also came under that guise of apprenticeship. I just want to quickly say that, you know, since this is the scheme of things, this is how they are planning to adopt more children. People would, because they will target small scale businesses. People with small scale business, don't say because the person is under your employment. You don't really know the history of these people. So don't keep your young children around, you know.
Very, very careful.
No, it's everybody. Your security guard, your maid guard, your driver. You don't know their houses, you don't know their family members. You just employ them off the road. We must be security conscious.
Moving on to The Nation. Obasanjo kicks as details of $1.09 billion oil deal emerge. Ex-president to Adoki, leave me out of it. Picture here of fine clean notes. EFCC seizes 49 million naira cash at this newly opened Kaduna airport. And customs review duty payment enforcement. Foreign missions to monitor Mago screening by Senate.
I watched the news yesterday and I saw them counting the money in batches, you know, verifying it, and the the immigration head mentioned the fact that they had to bring in EFCC because of safekeeping. They just found the money abandoned.
They found them actually. The guy that was with the money actually came for questioning.
Oh, later?
Yeah, initially he came over and they spoke to him. They're trying to ask him about the money. He couldn't give them any information on how he got the money. They now said they're going to get in EFCC. It was while they were waiting for EFC that he absconded.
I read this story, you know. If you check the notes, this currency, it is the wrap on the currency is directly from the minting and printing PLC. So it's not from any bank. So is it possible that
straight from the source?
Straight from CBN. No, it is. That's what is written there. Straight from the source, the printing and milling PLC. That's where the wrap that is on this cash is from.
And so
are we that porous?
No, but you can trace it then. That means it is easily traceable.
Yeah, that's why.
Because they have...
No, they are investigating.
There's a figure. They are meant to produce a specific amount of money, and it is supposed to go to the CBN.
And anyway, they have CCTV cameras to go and help to trace this gentleman. And the good thing is that... I mean, the EFCC is on it, and they're on the trail, so definitely we'll see them. But what I was going to say is that this Abuja closing of the airport might actually be a good thing.
They expose a lot of things.
Because now Kaduna is smaller, you can actually easily monitor all this kind of malpractices.
Apart from that, the roads from Abuja to Kaduna is well maintained, and they don't have a choice. They have to do a good job.
So the police are there, they're well manned with police, so we're actually...
It'll be good for the economy of
catch
Kaduna.
A lot of people actually.
You call it newly opened airports. That airport has been existing.
No,
when I say newly, I said newly refurbished for the international line. That's what I meant.
I understood what you meant.
Moving on to Daily Sun. Customs CG faces fire. Visit Saraki. Is that what really happened? Senators turned down requests for new date and says Ali must appear in uniform. 49 million naira cash found at Kaduna Airport, says EFCC. Wicked depletes APC as more groups in Rivers move to PDP. Federal government uncovers sabotage in Fatima Kyari's African Union election loss. Governor Okorocha threatens to arrest Ilumuyan. Don't drag me into Malibu oil deal, Obasanjo warns Adoki. Senate screens Mago today. NPCC yet to remit $15.8 billion to the federal government. All right, so
quickly talk on the CG The
Yeah.
customs.
Yes, so did you see our video? This TVC video.
Oh,
I
It
saw
trended.
it. I said, no.
Yes, so
Awesome.
that video was one in town.
You know, and he had written a letter through his deputy that he was not going to appear at the Senate because they had a management meeting that was scheduled for the same day. But I think a lot of people, pressure has been coming on him. So they said he went to the Saraki's office. He also met the majority leader yesterday at about 5:30. He went and he saw them. So he's going to appear before the Senate this morning. So he wrote another letter. And this time around, he was the one that signed off on the letter that he was going to appear.
There's two things that were in that letter. Number one, the fact that the new rule concerning cars will be reviewed. That's one. That's the what was that again? The
vehicle.
Vehicle. The payment of duty.
Payments of duties
being checked on the roads
will be reviewed. So they get that. Number two, the issue of uniform. He's still consulting his lawyers to see the legal framework for that. Do I need to? Must I? Can they compel me? So he's talking to his lawyers.
If you
are
claiming
the two information that letter contained.
If you are claiming that you have you had risen to Colonel, what was the where you were, that you cannot take another uniform, why did you take why did you accept the employment in the first place?
Well, these are different arguments.
No, because I mean, this is impunity. Well, Mariah, let me explain. If I come to TVC, I would behave the way TVC wants me to behave. The customs require that you wear the uniform, especially as you are the leader. You should lead by example.
Okay,
so should we say that
I don't want us to go into this debate because this debate has been ongoing for a while.
It's
so
ongoing.
Where we are right now is the legal framework for this. Can he be compelled by law to whether
let the lawyers also check whether
all right, moving on to Vanguard.
Is it in service to the people at the moment who are representing the people at this moment? I think that should be the House of Assembly.
Okay, moving on to Vanguard. $1.1 billion Malibu deal. Peak of graft, says Obasanjo. He has asked Adoki to actually leave him out of it. Tears as Obaseki Okowa receive. Ogbemudias remains in Benin. NDEC redresses plight of overseas scholarship students. Inflation drops to 17.78%. Buhari waits into Senate Custom CG face-off. Right, Obasanjo, talk about
Obasanjo mentioned the former Attorney General was naming all the former presidents of the country that they were all involved. You can't hold me accountable. All of them are tested signatures. If you didn't go and call them, then don't come and meet me. That was his letter to absolve himself from the allegations that he was involved in the scandal. But Obasanjo has spoken up. He said that he was not involved in the Malibu scandal or the Malibu deal, that his stand at the point in time was that this is not right. He also mentioned that Dakuku, that was his Minister for State Petroleum, was the one that was in front of the deal, not him. So when you say he signed into it, he didn't. He was the Minister of Petroleum, the Minister of State for Petroleum.
He thought it was fraudulent because a very juicy oil block was sold at, how much was it? And the only amount that was paid, that was seen to be paid, was about $2 million. And there was an outstanding $20 million that had not been remitted. So he had seen that process was too corrupt, that somebody wanted to enrich, he wanted to enrich himself. So he awarded the whatever it is to himself. So there was no way he would have put his stamp on that kind of a deal.
investigation is ongoing, so we'll see how that goes.
They're
to say that it's a matter in court.
If the matter is not in court, the people settled out of court. So
all right, so they're still just gathering evidence, I guess. Okay, our final paper is this day. Presidency moves to avert face-off between Senate and Customs. Inflation rate falls for the first time in 15 months to 17.78%. Voter registration PVC distribution begins in April for 2019, around the corner. NDDC boss orders immediate payment of commission scholarships.
Why do we have to
always register?
To always re-register our voters' cards?
No, we're not re-registering.
For fresh
CVC.
Young people, those that are just becoming 18 after the last registration.
Okay, so you guys have your own.
Good.
Yeah.
My card was went missing.
Anyway,
So
let us just
you
get
have to re-register.
We need to
I
appeal.
have the temporary one.
Then you don't need to re-register.
Anyway, the point, when that time comes, but the point is that we need to appeal to the young voters. They need to
The millennials.
Yes, we don't
People
want them
who are just turning 18.
Those ones, they need to know the right information to vote, because we don't want them to make
people that haven't gotten their.
We don't want them to make that mistakes we made. Okay, let's take a quick break now. When we come back, MTN Foundation takes a seat. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You have to hurry up.
Stay tuned. Yourview will be right back. Welcome back to Yourview.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us are beneficiaries from the MTN Foundation Science and Technology Scholarship Scheme and the MTN Foundation Scholarship Scheme for the Blind Students. Omolara Rashid and Mercy Okodwa are here. The two beneficiaries we're going to be celebrating today. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So let me start with Omolara. How did you qualify for the scholarship? What exactly were you doing to qualify for the scholarship?
Well, first of all, you must be a student
Yes.
of a tertiary institution, and then you have to be hardworking, and you have to make a minimum of, for the blind now, you have to make a minimum of 2.5 CGPA. Yes.
Great.
Nice.
All right. So let me come to you also. Yeah.
Mercy, who is a first class student.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Tell us what your first class in first.
Electrical electronics engineering.
Whoa! that's a mouthful.
They think that women are all about fashion.
Yes, so and it's a male-dominated course. I expect.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
When compared the percentage and the ratio, yeah, it's male dominated.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Okudwa Mercy. I hail from Edo State, and I studied electrical electronics engineering from the University of Benin. And like you heard, I'm a first class. Right?
Wow.
How do your parents feel when you got a first
Okay,
class?
actually, just my dad. He was very happy. Actually, he got me a piano.
Oh, wow. So you like music too?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, great stuff. Right.
So how was life before you got on the MTN Foundation scholarship?
Okay, actually, I'm not going to give a pathetic story per se, like what people are expecting to hear, but actually, my life was not really, it's not like I had so much, or I
You're
had a
comfortable.
brother that was actually assisting me and helping me and all that. But when ATM came, it was like, wow, now I got enough, I should get it. So that was just how it was.
So MTN paid your school fees eventually? Or how,
No,
what was the scholarship about?
Okay, when the application process and all that is writing an aptitude test, giving an essay online, applying online and all that. Actually, the scholarship, they give you 200,000 naira every year.
Wow.
That's what they do.
Wow.
Let me
Let me
come
come
to
to,
Lara.
because you tell us a bit about yourself as well and how you also got the scholarship. What were the criteria?
What was your story?
The story.
Okay, my name is Omolara Rashid. I'm a graduate of English from the University of Lagos, and I actually benefited from the MTN Foundation scholarship, 200,000 per year. And before I started to get that scholarship, it wasn't easy. Mine actually might be something you want to call a pathetic story, because initially, before I entered into the University of Lagos, I was in a polytechnic where I studied mass communication, and I can tell you that I went through hell, what you call hell, before I could even graduate from that school. But when I was going for my degree, I just wanted it to be easier for me. I didn't know how it was going to come, but somehow I got into school. Even getting into school.
Let me pause you, because actually we're going to learn about all this in the documentary. We're going to watch a quick clip on both of you.
All right.
Let our viewers watch this.
My name is Izuna Anebu, a graduate of Physics and Industrial Physics, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. In the university, it was very interesting. Before I got the MTN Foundation scholarship, I had this financial challenge. What kept running through my mind then was how to try to make some extra money to finance my education. MTN Foundation scholarship now came along. I applied and was successful. MTN Foundation made me pray. MTN Foundation made me work hard. And MTN Foundation made me believe. At that point, I knew someone got my back. Working with MTN Foundation has always been my dream, and today it's a reality. It's been a good working environment, make me more creative, brings out the best in me. I've met people that believe in me, even more than I believe in myself. You are bringing hope to hopeless families. You are bringing life back to people. You are giving people reason to work hard and to succeed.
My name is Ishola Damilari. I'm a student of the University of Lagos, 400 level guidance and counseling. I lost my right side due to some circumstances, and what really happened was that a lady and a guy was having a kind of disagreement among them. I was trying to separate them because the guy was beating the lady. On getting there, well, the next thing I just realized was that the umbrella got into my side. Until 2008, another happened. Unfortunately, I never knew there was this politics fight. The bottle, I don't know where the bottle came from, just hit my left eyes. At initial, when I first lost the sight, it was very tough. I feel rejected, abused. I waited at home for 4 years, not knowing what to do. But when I got rehabilitated, I feel that there is nothing a sighted person can do that a blind person cannot do. My parents are very, very poor. They struggle to sponsor me for 100 level. When I heard about MTN Foundation, that they are sponsoring and helping blind students to pursue their academics, I put more effort in my academics. Before I know it, my name was listed among the qualified candidates, and since then I believe MTN has been trying, and so far my condition has really changed for good and better. And I thank God today, with the help of MTN, I believe I can, 1, pursue my academics, 2, do as all these sighted people do. And I don't even think now, due to the help of MTN, that I'm a blind person. I do things the way the normal people do it.
Welcome. So these are stories similar to yours, of how you got into MTN Foundation. Now, what do you anticipate is going to be the future now that you've been supported by MTN? What are your plans for the future, especially with you that are into technology? I mean, it's something that we hardly see around here. We'd like to hope that you can create something for us, innovate something. So, but let me hear your thoughts. What do you plan to do?
Well, I was expecting to ask something like that about creating something. It's actually true, because if you see someone that is graduating from engineering, you expect to create and all that. I'm not going to bring down any university down and say that the Nigerian universities, like everybody do say and all that. But the truth is that when it comes to creating, it's personal. Is beyond the fact that you're a graduate or you graduated from one school or the other, because yes, a lot of persons will argue that as you are in the university, it's theoretical. But like I will always say, like when I was traveling yesterday, I was arguing in the bus, they're talking about engineering and polytechnics and all that, and I said, but the truth is that it's theory that brings practical. That's the truth. So you can't actually know so much practical without getting the theoretical parts of it. So as for me creating, like in my final year project, a lot of us, we came together and did something really exceptional. It cost us so much. So from there, I got to realize that the truth is that when you actually want to give a good creation in this particular part of the world, you need a lot of fund and all that. And the country is not so, I don't think I need to mention that. You understand what I'm saying?
So in other words, we can push MTN Foundation right now to help support you further.
Yes, of course. Of course, that's why they have an alumni segment. That's why they have a platform where if you actually bring a very good winning idea to them, they will be able to support you. That's why they have it. Because most of other scholarships, what do they actually do? When you are done, you are done.
That's it.
But MTN, they are just doing more. They are not just concerned about the fact that you are getting into
the Alumni Association supports you beyond the scholarship.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Like last week, we attended the unemployability training. Because normally, if you want to attend an unemployability training, you have to pay. But this one, we attended it for free. Heard from a lot of different persons, people with creative ideas, people that have surpassed, people that have done things from different people. Like
let me come to Omolara for a second. Omolara, because you're blind, there are tools available for people, the ways, the braille, computer and all that. Are you familiar now with these things? Are you making yourself employable for because these are things that are going to help you to get into the labor market?
Oh, sure. I'm a computer literate.
Okay.
I use the computer very well, like just like my sighted counterparts.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, while I was in the university, I used the computer to do everything.
Great.
To do my exams, tests, assignments. So I don't see any reason why I'm not employable.
Fantastic. That's good.
Malara, tell us what you learned from the alumni event last week. What did you take away from that event?
Okay, one thing that struck me so hard last week was a statement that said that you need to enjoy creating values in order to create a value that you will enjoy. So that alone made me know that, okay, now MTN Foundation has done something. MTN is a brand, and I'm proud to be a product of that brand. So now I also have to add value and also create the value that I will enjoy. I also have to, create other values to people around me, and also be a value that other people will be able to enjoy.
I just wanted to quickly ask, okay, so somebody's watching now, they're in the same position that you were before the scholarship. How do they go about, getting into the program, the scholarship scheme?
Okay, first of all, like she said, you have to be a student. And also, the scholarship scheme for the second year, like from 200 level and above. And as you can hear, it's science and technology and all that. So, a lot, like me, at the time I heard about it, I heard from a friend. It was a friend that told me about it, and I went online. And so the platform is online. So when you're in 200 level, just keep searching. When the scholarship is on, you get to know about it. You apply. There's an essay you write and all that. So you just apply and all that.
So once you apply, you'll be shortlisted if you are
shortlisted, you come right there. So once you pass, you get it.
One tweet quickly. Andrew says, "My heart goes out to Damilare Shola. What a hero. I still believe Nigerian youth are generally good and patient with the charlatans ruling this massive nation."
All right, thank you very much. I think, I'm sure MTN would certainly do more. Lots of people out there would appreciate, would actually benefit from this scholarship. So hopefully go to their website, and keep searching. If you're in 200 level, you're a student, then there'll be other criteria for you to qualify for the scholarship. We've heard the good stories.
1,030 people have actually graduated from this scheme.
Wow.
Fantastic. They have about 3,000 people on this scheme.
Well done, MTN. That's all we can take on that segment. When we return to commemorate the World Consumer Rights Day, we discuss the need for consumers' rights and protection in Nigeria. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Yourview will be right back. Welcome back to Yourview.
Thanks for staying with us. So in Nigeria, nearly every category of goods have what we now term as original or fake, from generators to electronics, appliances, to even such simple household items. Now, however, our societal business environment is filled with carefree capitalists who care only about profit maximizing rather than pay very little attention to customer satisfaction. Now, what are the laws that deal with customers' rights in Nigeria? Joining us on the show is Executive Secretary of the Consumer Rights Project, Barrister Uche Onu. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
Viewers,
You can call us on 07080668014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Kindly hashtag Yourview TVC so we can read your tweets. Barrister Onu.
I want to attack him.
Okay, please let me let you go.
Please, who is protecting the Nigerian consumer in different areas, though? From our telecoms, from our bottling companies that are packaging us funny drinks that are poisoning us, to the one of that, even customer service.
That's right.
Who is protecting the Nigerian customer?
Thank you, ladies. First and foremost, let me welcome you and say Happy World Consumer Rights Day.
Yes.
Today is 15th of March. Every year is globally marked and celebrated as World Consumer Rights Day.
Right.
It's a day set aside by the United Nations to reaffirm, the commitment and sovereignty of the consumer as the king. That's in theory. Coming back home here, on the issue I've just raised, this is something that we have been on it for the past 10 years on consumer protection in Nigeria. It has come along with so many challenges over down here because of, one, most Nigerian consumers are not informed. They are not aware of their rights. And it's only right that you are aware of that you can enforce.
True, sir.
So because of that, service providers and producers of goods and something they take on, even government. And for purpose of emphasis, I want to say here that the concept of consumerism is not restricted to service or edibles or consumable goods. It encompasses governance. So when we talk about consumerism, it's also talk about corporate governance. So what we are doing now is to try to highlight, in its ramification, the concept of consumerism, the legal framework in Nigeria. We don't have enough legal framework. Because in Nigeria here, what we have, there are snippets of laws that we could find in different statutes. We don't have a compendium of book that we could lay our hand and say, call it consumer protection law.
Okay,
and that is what we have been canvassing for. The National Assembly, let us, we have, in the course of this work, we have gone out to study in other jurisdictions like in South Africa, Ghana, Canada, Kenya, UK. We see that they have, where all these things are well documented, defined, so that when we talk about consumer, you could easily define what constitutes consumers' rights. What are the remedies available? What are the forum for enforcing, like jurisdiction, courts? But here, we don't have it.
Okay, so what are we doing to get our members in the House, lawmakers to actually push for this?
See, that is part of the problem we have been having. The laws, as we are using today, were most of the laws obsolete that we inherited from our former colonial masters. And that is why the issue of enforcement is very, very difficult here. Now, on the issue of negligence, like the judgment that was delivered yesterday on the issue of involving NAFDAC and Nigerian Bottling Company, in other jurisdictions, the person will have gotten more than compensation. But because of the clumsy nature of our legal system here, where the burden of proof will allow you, when you see a foreign particle, there may be a bottled product like this, it will need you to prove three things: whether the producer of those goods owe you a duty of care, one; two, whether that duty of care was breached, and three, what was the attendant loss that you incurred. And if you're unable to establish these three elements, it means you will not. Yes, like other jurisdictions where you could even make fact that you cited that you suffer psychological
trauma. And they would pay you for that psychological trauma.
There's one professor of India that it happened. They will award about 5 million rupees in their currency.
But, sir.
So, but here, you need to prove all those things. And so far as you have not considered them, the nature of the law today, as it's presently constituted, will not help you. So,
Barrister, we already know that Nigeria is like a dumping ground. It's very porous. No, it's true. Someone traveled to the UK and took some fizzy drinks. He was not allowed to go into the UK with the fizzy drink because they did an analysis and they said there were some poisonous things inside that drink. And do you know that when he now put, the complaint to the company, they told him that he didn't tell them he was taking it out of Africa. So already they know. And this is what pains my heart. Most of these manufacturers, they know that Africa, anything goes, especially in Nigeria. Anything goes. So how do we now fight them?
You see, that scenario you have just painted, we have to mention them because the court has pronounced on this. So it's not the issue of saying it's Nigerian Bottling Company. So it's now within public domain. So far as a court of law of competent jurisdiction have pronounced a judgment, there is no issue of hiding or saying let's not make their name or their... It's issue of a Nigerian businessman that bought those items in large quantity, Fanta and Sprite, from Nigerian bottling, and were meant to export them to UK so that it will market them there. No, nothing was done here, and after did not do the due diligence or the things that were needful. On getting over there, those people, because of the seriousness of the system there, how they take their people, they were subject to laboratory. They analyzed it and found that they were not fit for human consumption. And they were destroyed, asked to destroy. Because after their laboratory, they found out that some toxic things that enter that. Yes, benzonic acid or that is not good. To take it alongside vitamin C. And based on that, they were destroyed there. On getting back that man, because he's somebody that is conscious of his rights, that's why I say that most people, the man decided to pursue that case. Unlike other Nigeria that was saying they let it go like that.
Left it to God.
So because he pursued it for the past 7-8 years, he was in court. And was it there yesterday or what? The court, High Court, sitting at Iboshire, gave a judgment in his favor and said, declared and then directed that NAFDAC should, within the period of certain days, 90 days, issue a notice that, on a warning on that this consumer should take it with caution, that it contains so this thing should not be taken with vitamin C.
I have two questions. One,
yes.
When you have judgments that do not specify enough fine that will serve as a deterrent, then it is not protecting the consumer.
So can he appeal that judgment?
Can he appeal to have both NAFDAC, because they have oversight duty and didn't do the right thing?
There is a product that lady has said, the nature of our law.
No law to back him up.
To back it's clumsy. 1, 2, the court will not award you what you did not ask for. But it's only the reliefs that you ask. Yes. If you don't go to court, it's not there for that Christmas. Okay. So based on that, is what the claimant asks, is what the court gives.
Okay. But what do we do now? Because you didn't answer the question. Yes. In this scenario, we already know that it's porous.
Yes.
How do we fight them to beat this?
The court directed, as I said, the first that NAFDAC should come do that, and then declared that those products by Nigerian Bottling Company, that they should be with help from the market. And those that have shopped, there should be a caution on it, that before you take it, that you should not, which comes to the issue of rights of consumers, which in the course of this discussion, I will highlight them. We have 8 basic rights as enunciated under the United Nations guidelines that we will have to outline. Rights to be informed, information that will give you detailed information about any particular product, be it a beverage. You should know the content of the content of it. Is it 60 cl? And then which you see sometimes, if you weigh those things, they're not up to that which we have here. And we have agency of government that's supposed to be monitoring that, called Weights and Measure Commission. They are there in Abuja doing nothing. Weights and measure. That's supposed, well, once you see any product that is written content 60 cl, so it's weight. Even in the US, if you go on an arts country, you will find that they comply with the specification. But here, if you weigh my brother, or even detergent for you women, soap and detergent,
50 grams.
50 grams. Most of them, if you weigh them, they're not up to that. So we have poor enforcement.
So you said 8. You mentioned 2.
1.
The eighth right.
Okay, 1. The other one, rights to be informed. Okay. That's number 1.
Yes.
Right to choose. Right to satisfy basic needs of life, necessities of life. The right to representation. Right to healthy environment. Right to seek redress, and right to safe environment. So when we talk about, there are many issues, and I will give, if time allows, there are many issues our NGO has dealt into in the course of doing that. There was a time in Lagos here where everywhere was littered with heavy duty trucks. Lagos Road, if you go to Apapa area, Ijora area, this we saw it as an infringement on the right of consumer to safe environment.
Yes.
Because they were constituted not only nuisance but also loss of man hours, pollution. So we came under the lesson of that it's an infringement on the right of consumer to safe environment. And we took it up with the statement. The issue was quickly addressed.
So I have a question.
That's right.
Because we tend to see consumer rights from a position of products we're buying. But as a tenant to my landlord,
that's right.
I'm a customer to my landlord. If I have issues with my house that my landlord isn't taking responsibility for, can I address him based on my consumer rights? The consumer rights laws, the few we have?
You see, the contents of what we are doing, a consumer may not come within that because there is a law of landlord tenancy law.
Tenancy law.
Yes. Governing that. So it's different from what we are
products.
Products.
Now, I wanted to say something, sir, and maybe we don't have enough time to answer that. When you go to other countries, when you watch TV, you see lawyers telling you, if you fall down somewhere, I can defend you.
That's right.
If you go somewhere, I can. The lawyers are allowed to. They're allowed to promote the free attorney to. You can speak to an attorney concerning any human rights, or even not human rights, consumer issues. If you go
damages.
If you go somewhere to the fast food, hanging there, go to fast food, maybe the water, the tea they give you is too hot, and it burns your tongue. You can sue. Those little things, but you see, the consumer are aware. The lawyers are informing them and telling them of their rights.
Yes.
If this happens to you, I can defend you. How come we don't have those kind of things here in Nigeria, where lawyers can actually educate us? Unfortunately, I'll take a quick break. Come back, you answer that question. Okay. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. So how come lawyers don't do that here? Is there a law against that?
You see, first and foremost, there must be an enlightenment. People must be informed about their rights.
Okay.
Again, there is this complacency on the part of everybody in Nigeria, among elite, educated people. Nobody wants to create time to pursue his case. For instance, there was a time I was meant to travel to the East. I bought a ticket online. On getting to the airport that morning, and they told me there that, sorry, that they made a mistake, that that ticket was not meant for that route, that they don't apply that route. I said, why? We were about 7 of us, we were asking them, okay, what do the other people before? I said, come, let us see what we can do. They said, no, let them go and buy a ticket.
In a hurry.
They're in a hurry, let them go this. What I did, they all left me. What I did was, because I am aware of my rights, and I know that NCA, which is Nigeria, they have a consumer protection unit in every airport across the nation. I took it to the office and complained. And they invited the officials of the airline, they addressed the issue then and then. They were mandated to go and buy me another ticket. And they even had to food the bill for my breakfast that morning. So because I was aware of my right and they enforced it, but unfortunately, most Nigerian people don't have time. They're complacent.
Barrister Onu.
Yes.
I am very aware of my right to redress.
Okay.
It states
That's right.
compensation for misrepresentation, shoddy goods, and unsatisfactory public and private services, including the right to adequate legal representation. Right. But if I buy this particular bottle of Fanta or Sprite that was contaminated, from the NBC, and I take it to them, and I say, oh God, this is what has happened. I write my lawyer, I want redress, I was poisoned. They will offer me 1 crate of Fanta and Sprite because there are no laws.
Which is similar to what a lady princess complained about.
Yes.
She drank just one of those soft drinks also, and almost lost her life. I think she was rushed to the hospital.
So, what can I do in Nigeria as at today?
Earlier on, the nature of the law we are using now is not sufficient.
So we have to
change the laws.
We need to go to the National Assembly to amend some of this law. For those of you in the media, aware that recently there is this competition law that was sponsored by the Speaker Dogara. That one has passed through. We need such laws. When we are still relying on the old laws of negligent untaught, where you see something, the law requires that you must have consumed it to have caused you harm. So, as it is today, that law needs to be amended.
So let me die first before you. But
you have an NGO.
We have consumer rights projects.
So, are you guys? How are you lobbying the laws?
This thing is not as easy. There is this. But most times, this elite, and again, the people we are fighting, the multinational companies. They will also bring our money to make sure that some of these things don't pass. But I'm very happy for this judgment that was passed against NBC.
So you know what? I want to know what we as TV people can do to help you.
Media people.
If you can give us those things you're pushing, we can also put pressure
on
it. We can say it every day.
Creating avenue, medium like this judgment that was given against them, people should continue to
make
noise. Analyze, bring in experts to analyze it, bring it to the consciousness, and again the system itself. There is a wise man that says that if you want to know the law, the extent how effective of a law, you have to go the leaders, how seriously they take their people. This thing that NBC has happened, Coca-Cola in South Africa, would they have done such a thing in South Africa? But because they know the system here permits that, and then nothing goes there, they will already. That's part of the system.
Yakub, are you there?
Yes.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning to you all because of time. So you cannot see where Nigeria has all manners of illness, cancer and the rest. Now, the government is coming out the way 7 years, good 7 years, and then people still continue to do this Fanta and Sprite. And then now, instead of our lawmaker, our National Assembly, to make a law for us to change this very particular law, for us to be safe, and then they are not telling us that because some of these are the duties must be there. What is the uniform? This is a law they need to change in order to save us from all these ailments.
Thank you.
So, some people are already in business right now. They've bought shop loads of these goods. Yeah. So how do they get there if they say they know they sell?
They're
not
saying the brand is bad now.
No,
it's not to take with. No. Let's clarify. No, is it that they don't drink it again, or we cannot drink it with vitamin C?
They said the existing bottle. They're supposed to write on the bottle. So people have already bought these goods. Okay, they're already in their store.
They are told to recall them.
If it were in advanced countries, what they would have done is to mandate NBC to make sure they withdraw, they mop up all the
no, but they've been
mandated. It has happened in US. It has happened. There's a man they call Rafnada in US. He's the man that we call as father of consumerism today. What he did, there was a period GM Motor brought out some defective products on auto vehicle in the US. This man spearheaded and created consciousness in the minds of Americans. They all woke up and resisted it. At the end of the day, they went to court and they got mandated that all the vehicles that were produced should be,
recalled. Let me take this
from Berlin. This is the kind of thing that we should be doing in this country.
Sorry. I want the question now. Yes. Because I already have a case right now with Arik Air.
Okay.
They collected my tickets. They've not answered me. If my apprehension about employing a lawyer is that, first of all, I will spend more money.
That is the problem.
You understand? That's the problem. I will spend more money and the case will continue to drag. Yeah. So how, is your organization making it shorter that if I have a case, can we come to you?
We do such, we handle it free pro bono.
Okay.
Even today, as we are marking work, we have opened our secretariat, for such cases. Consumer handling, everything, complaint handling, anything, counseling on consumer, bring it to us. By the time we leave, I'll give you our contacts. We'll handle it. We have been doing that with most of these airlines.
For free.
For free.
We need to talk about the place of the regulators, the NAFDAC of this world.
Yes.
The weighing, the SON, where we have issues of increase in kidney failure and all that due to these things we are consuming. What is NAFDAC supposed to do? How can we hold NAFDAC accountable? Should we take NAFDAC to court that they're supposed to do oversight duty and test these things that we're consuming? How come you didn't notice that there is this yellow benzoate acidic stuff that we mustn't take with vitamin C?
Point taken.
What are they testing?
You see, this judgment that was handed down has exposed a lot of inefficiency and corruption in the system. So what we intend to do, our NGO, we are trying to get a copy of that judgment, study it, analyze very well. We are going to make a very strong representation to the National Assembly. NAFDAC, whoever it is and its leadership, must be held accountable for this judgment, the fallout of this judgment, and then other relevant regulatory agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of protection of consumers' rights in Nigeria must sit up.
Yes.
Like NCA, Nigerian Communication Commission, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, all of them. This is going to be an eye-opener. That's why this case has opened a vista of opportunity that we are going to catch it. We are going to cash in on those of us.
We now see the importance of the
consumer protection unit. And then with what is happening with that judicial pronouncement, it's going to help our work.
Fantastic.
Because we don't used to get that kind of favorable
judgment. It took 8 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Adidi says we should begin grassroots education on consumer rights to the level it becomes a curriculum in our schools. It should be studied. Tokpa Jacob says most consumers don't know their rights again. It's difficult to enforce. More publicity is needed about this right. Ebe says consumer rights in Nigeria is merely on paper. EEDC is short-changing illegal people with crazy and arbitrary bills. NERC should act now. Chima says regulatory body that is functional and upright is what we need to be able to war against the poisons that come in. Baba Yomi says, can't Nigerian consumers sue NBC for compensation using this recent judgment as a basis?
All right, we have to sign out, unfortunately. We can't take too much, but I think we need to bring you back, sir.
Thank
to
you.
Tell continually, we'll bring you up periodically.
Issue of class action, where Nigerians can come together and bring up class action. These are things we are
You are always welcome here, sir. Whenever you need to talk about this issue.
Anytime you call me,
but it's key that we talked about this because some parents there will give a little child vitamin C and just maybe the pack off. And maybe after crying, they'll give her some Fanta to drink.
And
that's
poisonous.
Poisonous. So it's key that we understand that don't drink Fanta
and vitamin C.
Sprite, Coke with vitamin C. That's the judgment. The judgment is don't take it with vitamin C.
That's poisonous.
All right, that's all we can take on the show. Thanks so much for joining us. Oh, the exciting news we had. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you tomorrow.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll tell you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.